Just looking for our video to see if we're live.
All right, I'm gonna look too.
Let's see. I feel like we haven't done this in forever, Kelly.
I know. Oh my
Ooh,
goodness.
there we are.
There, I see it. I see it.
Yay. Looking for our video to see if we're live.
Except for, all right. I had to
No
every time I
worries. Hey, it's all good. Hello,
do.
hello. Hopefully everybody can hear us okay and see us okay. Let us know in the comments if you're seeing us, and let us know where you're joining us from. It's always so fun for us to see.
Oh, someone else from Southern California experiencing a rare gloomy day here.
Oh,
Oh, someone says this song, their cookie blue pen is drying up. Oh.
oh no, Kelly. I know we haven't gotten together in a while. We're supposed to glitter all the things at least once a month.
Yeah. Say hi.
I think a couple questions on who you're holding, Kelly.
So this is Miles. He's a little guy. He's about a year and a half old. And he loves a crafting supply. Mostly he loves lining up the stamps. That's his favorite thing. So
Ooh.
he works in the lawnfawn warehouse. He rides the cart. Oh, he just saw Dad.
There we go. Bye, Miles.
Maybe
Bye.
you'll come say hi later. You'll come say hi later. Yeah.
Oh wow, we've got the Netherlands, we've got the Caribbean, lots of Netherlands crew.
Oh, New York. Oh, everybody's so cold. Oh, everyone's saying, yeah, I know he's so big all of a sudden. It's crazy.
It's so crazy how big he's getting.
Oh, someone's saying from Northern California. NorCal always has a happy place in my heart because I went to high school in Sacramento, so I love it there. Oh, somebody from Asheville. That's where Shari and Megan are from in our team.
Yep. We've got Minnesota. We got some Firefly Farm girls. I can recognize names.
Oh, how fun.
Love it. Yay.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Oh my gosh, thank you. 8 to 12 inches of snow in North Carolina tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
I know. Wow. Kelly, Shari and Matt are driving home early to hopefully avoid that.
Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And here we're struggling because, it rained for 20 minutes. So it's really hard. It's 65, We always joke because we don't handle the rain here very well. So
yeah, it is my studio. I'm in Massachusetts, Cape Cod, and my studio is very deceiving. It looks sunny and warm, which it is, but outside we have negative temperatures with the wind chill.
Oh, someone's saying hi to your kitties.
Aw, hi. They're all being lazy boys in the living room.
And someone's from Elk Grove. I went to Oakmont High School, if anyone's from the Roseville, Sacramento area.
Yes, everybody in the tsunami warning on the coast, on the west coast of the United States, please stay safe.
Yes, please. Oh my goodness.
So crazy. Wow. Oh my gosh, negative 30 in Ontario.
Yeah, I just saw that too.
Oh my
And then Rebecca's on here commenting, saying she doesn't miss the cold. She's originally from New York. You'll notice I'm in a little bit of a different spot today. I'm actually at home today. And so Rebecca's at her. So all three of us are at our house, but Rebecca is still here and she's going to be helping answer any questions in the chat.
Yay. Hi, Shari. We were just chatting about you. Safe drive.
Oh my goodness, Shari's on. I didn't think we get to see Shari on today.
I don't know how much she'll be able to be on with driving, being in the car. I mean, I'm sure Matt's driving, but
Oh my gosh, someone's niece goes to my old high school. That's amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. It's such a small world. Awesome. Well, we are going to get started, you guys. If this is your first Create with us, or maybe it's your third or whatever, Kelly and I love to host these. We try to do them typically near a new release. The Valentine release came out in early December so that stores had enough time to get the product in so they'd be ready to have it for you guys, when we were all done with the holidays. So this one's a little bit more spaced out. But whenever we do a Create With Us class, we announce all the details on release day, on whatever lawnfawn release day. And there's always a handout that you guys can download. And in the handout is pictures of the cards, a supply list, there's coloring guides. But the beauty of it is if you're joining us today, we're going to walk you through all of that. And we're just going to have a wicked fun time. Don't ever worry if you don't have all the supplies or if you have none of the supplies. Just join us because these are really fun. Kelly and I wanted to start doing these because we missed hanging out at all the trade shows together. So this was our way to make it a business plan. So we were forced to do it. Yay. I know. I found my Lawn Fawn hoodie. Some of you guys know that this has been MIA through the pandemic, which is crazy because I barely leave my house. So it was driving me insane. I had no idea where it could have gone, but I found it. So yes.
And we still are working on getting hoodies and sweatshirts, a lot of fun hoodies and sweatshirts. I didn't want you guys to think that we forgot. We still are working on it. I know someone asked where Miles went. Miles was more interested in playing with Legos, but he'll come by and say hi soon. Or the Duplo Legos. We just got him one of those big multi-sets, and he's obsessed. So.
I don't know. That's a tough call. Crafting or Legos. I can see.
I know.
I can see.
I was having fun yesterday. I was making some fruit, which he quickly looked at and would go, apart, which is apart. So I would take him apart because he doesn't like my creations. So he needs all blocks.
I love it. He just wants to do it himself. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm going to flip the camera. You're going to see my hands because I'll be the one guiding us in class today, but you'll still be able to see Kelly and I throughout the class. We're going to create. We're going to chit chat. Usually we can kind of talk Kelly into giving away some secrets, but we're going to go ahead and flip the camera and get started. So these are the 2 cards that we're going to be making today with the new Scent with Love stamp set, which I have here. Mine is well loved because I've been creating with it so much. There's also a little add-on set, Scent with Love add-on. I don't think we're using that today. I think I stuck to just the one stamp set. But just so you guys are aware, I was telling Kelly, I feel like sometimes I design these classes so far in advance that I forget all the little details. So it's almost like making new cards with you guys today.
And someone is asking if there's a trick to get the mouths to move with the word. So you may sometimes if you just refresh, right, Jen, that might help someone kind of get it back.
If at any time you lose sound or maybe your video's slightly off, closing out the video, refreshing your browser might help. Also, depending on your internet connection, if everybody in your home and there's a lot of people there all streaming, that could be a problem too for you guys. But usually a little refresh will help you along. So I know throughout the day, Rebecca is commenting as lawnfawn. She'll put the link to this handout for you guys so you can still go ahead and snag it. Right on the front page of the handout, it's letting you guys know to use this LF Create With Us hashtag when you guys post your cards. I love seeing what you guys create. If you substitute, if you're making something completely different today, whatever it is you guys are doing with us today, if you're posting any pictures, definitely use that hashtag. So we're going to dive right in. And I think what we're going to do first is a little bit of stenciling. That way, maybe if you guys didn't pre-stencil your background, maybe the backgrounds will be dry for you to be able to do your assembly with us today. Whenever I am doing stenciling, I love to use the Wendy Vecchi station. I'm obsessed. It makes stenciling so much more fun and easy. It holds that stencil in place for us. So I am going to take out the white background from card number 2. So it's just the 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 white cardstock that you want to ink blend on.
And I've got mine here. We were talking about the station. I have the bigger one and there's a smaller one. Perfect. I always put a tiny bit of tape runner on the back of my paper so that it stays more steady. I know not everyone does that, but I like doing that because it makes me like less worried that it's going to move around.
I actually have started doing that too. I find that it helps, especially if you're wanting to ink blend right to the edge. If I know that I'm not going to die cut my panel with the largest outside in stitched rectangle, which I do a lot, but in this case, we're not going to. And so we are going to use our Lots of Hearts background stencil. I kind of marked mine A and B. That's not necessary, but I just find it easier sometimes when I'm trying to line up the hearts. Like on the second card, we're going to be ink blending and then doing paste. And then that way you can kind of remember which stencil you've used and which you haven't. But it doesn't matter which one we start with for card number 2 for the background. I'm going to just grab one of the stencils. What I do like to keep an eye on is the Little Etched website, lawnfawn.com. I kind of make sure that is face up. So it's, reading properly. And I always have it down towards my belly. And again, this is just to help me remember. So when I'm lining up the second stencil, using the station, you can also kind of keep in mind how many squares, like where you're lining it up. So I know I'm lining it up 2 squares over from the left and 2 squares up from the bottom. That'll kind of help me quickly place the second stencil as we get to ink blending. All right.
It looks like some people did some of their homework this morning, so that's awesome.
Yay. Good job, you guys. I was never really good at doing homework in school, so I would be the one frantically like die cutting and cutting paper right now. So if you're that person, it's all good. All right, so we are going to use 3 inks to ink blend, and I know everybody has different inks out there. That's totally okay. We're going to use a teal, which I'm using Merman, bubblegum, which is a pink, and fresh lavender, which is just a really soft purple. And so again, if you're using different inks, those are kind of the colors we're going to work with. So I'm going to start with Merman, and I'm just going to use a blending brush. And you guys can see the background here. We're going to kind of do a gradient. So I'm working on a diagonal, but I'm going to do about 1/4 of it with Merman, 1/4 of it, or 3/4 doesn't add up a whole, but you guys get what I'm saying. We're going to do 1/3 of it with Merman, 1/3 of it with fresh lavender, and 1/3 of it with bubblegum. We all know, if you know me, Jen, math is not my strong point. So
it's Saturday morning fractions is what.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know why I was even starting to talk about numbers.
Numbers are my happy spot.
Yeah.
Jen and I are wonderful friends that are opposites, I think.
For sure.
We're both extroverts, so I think that's where we're similar.
That's where we click. So I have a little bit of Merman here, and now I'm going to go in with fresh lavender. And the trick is you definitely want to overlap a little bit, because then you're going to get this really pretty new color of Merman and fresh lavender together, which is so pretty. It's very mermaidy in my world.
Ooh, it is pretty.
Yeah, right?
It reminds me of like all the different, like when Starbucks had that like unicorn drink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like magical. So I'll just hold this up a little bit closer so you guys can see kind of where it's mixing here. Really pretty. And then the last color that we're going to do is bubblegum. I'm going to add a little pink. And in this case, I'm feeling like I should have done a little bit more fresh lavender just for the overlap part. So I'm going to actually just do that. I'm just going to add a little bit more fresh lavender over a few of my pink hearts. Totally okay, because we're using colors that don't make mud. You're not going to mix it up or mess it up.
I'm doing that with I'm going back to my merman and doing the same thing. I just didn't quite have enough of.
Yeah.
Or mermaid. I think mermaid, sorry.
Oh, no, I think I'm using merman, but you can use mermaid.
Oh, okay.
Merman. All right.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're all beautiful colors. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and take my stencil off. This is why having that repositionable adhesive on the back of your panel is really helpful. And I shared this trick in the fall when we did Create With Us, but I'm going to use just a little bit of, I have rubbing alcohol in a mister, and I just spritz it, and that way I can wipe it. I always have a flour sackcloth in my lap. I can just kind of wipe it to get that ink off. And the beauty of doing this is, one, I don't have to go to the bathroom to rinse my stencil. I can keep working, but the alcohol dries right away, so your stencil's not wet. So that's the little trick there. And then we're going to take our second heart stencil. And this is where, remember I said I went 2 squares over from the left and 2 squares up from the bottom. So if I go ahead and just start placing my stencil down, you're going to see how all those hearts fill in our empty spots. I love this stencil, Kelly.
Oh, I know, right? It's just so happy. I mean, it's adorable for Valentine's, but I feel like I'm going to use it, all the time because it's just so cute.
For sure.
Somebody recently wrote in asking to have stars and other shapes in this.
Oh yeah.
And I think that would be really fun.
I would love stars. I think that would be so pretty. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to start with merman in the upper left corner, kind of at that diagonal. And you could go straight across and do this as well. I just kind of liked doing a diagonal just to be a little different. Remember, you are going to want to overlap some of that lavender, so don't be shy in going, deeper in with the merman. And then I'm going to move right into the lavender. Overlapping so we get that magical color. This is our upper body workout this is our little warm up, If you take
so you're saying my workout for the day is done.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
All right, cool. All right, I'm going into my lavender now.
So my friend Melissa came over last weekend, and because of COVID, she wasn't able to come during my holiday Advent event where she was going to be making the holiday Advent calendar. So she came last weekend and we made it together, and it was so fun. But she was like ink blending, and she was like doing it very wimpy. And I was like, oh no, Melissa, you really gotta get yourself in there.
It was the Advent. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see Jen's Advent calendar class? So Miles and I were so lucky that Jen sent us one of the calendars that she made. And it's literally, it's a work of art. It was his favorite thing to do, so much so that we kind of repeated half of December because it was our way to get him to go take a class. And then now we've actually bought just a general magnetic calendar with for months because he's so obsessed with it. I felt weird continuing to tell my kid that it was December,
Yeah.
And so we got one that has the different months so he can learn the different months and everything. But it was literally his most favorite thing to do. So cute. And even gets him to put down the Legos. So that's high praise.
I'm so glad that he loves it, and he'll have it for years and years and years and years.
Oh my gosh. It's his favorite thing. So sweet.
Dee says she can do these workouts all day. Me too, Dee. These are my kind of workouts. So this is that beautiful background. I just love it. Card's done, you guys. It's adorable. It's already going to be so cute.
Could you imagine you could do this on the envelope too, and how pretty that would be?
Ooh, yeah. That would be so pretty, Kelly.
I love it. So now I'm not as clever as Jen, so I'm going to the bathroom to rinse my stencil.
Okay. So I'm just cleaning off that stencil from the ink. Remember, I just have like a little empty mister bottle that I put rubbing alcohol in, but then I marked it with tape so I don't think it's water and start trying to do, distress ink techniques with it or anything. And we're going to go ahead and just set this background aside. I'm going to just put it back in my kit for card 2, just so that I don't lose track of it. And then we are going to take out our background for card 1. Now, if you are playing along and if you did homework, you might have already added your fairy dust paste to a background. But in case you're just kind of following along with us, I'm going to start from the beginning. And we are going to stencil the background with ink first, then paste. And then that way we can kind of put our stencil in the water and be done with it. All right. I love that envelope idea. Everybody's loving that idea.
Oh, I know. I can't wait to try that now. I'm so excited because I found what is a very old cloth that I used to use to wipe up ink. So I can use that.
Perfect.
Here. Yeah.
So I'm going to be using lobster ink for this. Even if I wasn't on a lawnfawn live, I think this is the best red. It's a great Christmas red, Valentine red. And it's called lobster, which is perfect for me on Cape Cod. Yay. All right. So now I'm just putting my blender brushes back. I don't know why I wasn't putting them back as I was using them. So I'm going to, again, put a little bit of that repositionable runner on the back. I have like the Tombow repositionable or removable adhesive. Anything works, but in case you're just not familiar with it, that's one you could look for.
And I just use my just normal tape runner, but I put a little bit. And then you can just stick it to your jeans or your sweatshirt, take off some of the stick and do that in case you don't have repositionable.
That's a great idea because you're just going to put it on a card front anyways, so nobody's ever going to see.
Yeah, it's good. You're going to end up gluing it down anyways.
Look at me being the type A one and you not being the type A one.
Whoa, what's happening? Have we Freaky Friday'd?
Yeah, seriously, what's going on here?
Oh. That can be verb, right? Freaky Friday.
Sure. All right. So I'm again putting my stencil down. Again, it doesn't matter which one you use first or second. I'm just happening this time to use the A first. I think I used B first last time.
And Jen, just as a question, just because it's going to help people right now, someone's asking if we can paste first and then dry it and then color over it. And I think that's kind of what we're doing a little bit today, right? Because I have mine already with the paste on it.
So if you already have yours with the paste, then I'm assuming it's dry. You can go ahead and now do what I'm doing, which is going to be stenciling red hearts to fill in. But I wouldn't recommend pasting right in this moment and drying it with a heat tool. I find pastes don't like to be dried like that. There's some texture paste from Distress line that don't mind being dried, but I wouldn't dry our pastes with a heat tool. Do you agree, Kelly? Like it's kind of...
Yeah, I mean, it just gets a little, it's fine, but it just gets, I don't even know how to describe it. Not bubbly, but just, it doesn't dry as smooth as it would be if you let it just dry naturally.
Yeah. So if you've done nothing to your background yet, follow me because I'm going to do ink, then we're going to paste, and then we're going to set it aside. We're going to color. We'll work on our other card. And there's a good chance that our paste will be dry by the time we go to assemble. But if it doesn't, you guys can just watch the assembly, and then you can always come back to this video and watch the replay. You can fast forward to the section that you want. But yeah, so hopefully that answers your question.
And then what I'm doing now, if you guys can see, is I've got the paste on already. It's dried. Rebecca did this a couple days ago. And now I'm going to do the red hearts over this. So
yeah,
I'll show you what I'm doing. You can kind of see both things. Now I'm just trying to remember how my stencil was. See, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
So I'm going ahead in with a blender brush and the lobster ink, and I'm just going to get some red hearts down. Now, I kind of want my red hearts to be a little bit softer in color, so I'm going to be really gentle-handed, which is really hard for me. I'm a very heavy-handed person by nature, but I'm going to kind of have a soft hand. That's what's kind of cool about blender brushes is you can, have a soft hand, a heavy hand. You can always add more layers of ink to kind of get the color more intense if you want it to be. But in this case, I'm going to kind of keep things soft.
I do not have good lighting in my house, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly where my stencil should go, but I'm almost there.
I love it.
I also don't have my readers as usual, so.
I also have a pasted one that I will do next as well. So I'm going to go ahead and, so this is my first background, right? I'm going to go ahead and clean this stencil, just especially with that red ink. It can kind of become more of a mess than it needs to be.
I went a little too heavy-handed. Oh,
that's okay. Yours will be bright, bright, bright. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I might do a little gradient or something kind of look. I'm
just cleaning up the ink on the edge of my station with my damp cloth from the alcohol. And then I'm actually going to quickly, because I have my pasted one here, and I have, my full-size station. So I'm going to just quickly ink blend my hearts on there for you guys too. I know Kelly's going to show us hers as well, but just
and I want you guys to see, so I made an oops and I kind of shifted my stencil, but it actually still looks okay. So I don't know if you guys can see, I've got a little bit of like a double heart up there.
Oh, I think it looks super cute.
I still think it looks really cute. So I wouldn't I mean, it's good for me to let this go and not do it. Let's say
I'm proud of you, Kelly. I'm proud.
Right, but honestly, it is really cute, and it kind of just looks like double hearts, which is really adorable. So even when you make a little mistake like that, it actually kind of looks really cute. I like it. And then you'll see I went darker on this edge, and I didn't want to go that dark the whole way. So what I did was I kept it really dark in the corners, and I let it go light towards the middle. So even when you make little errors like that, you can kind of turn them into something that looks really fun.
If I was smart, I would have marked my pasted one with some details. This is tricky.
So I'll tell you, as Jen starts to find her place there, I'll tell you guys a funny story. So the room I'm in right now is the very original lawnfawn headquarters in my house. When we first lawnfawn almost 12 years ago, this was the room. We have one of those IKEA exhibit shelves, and that's where we kept all the stamps. Well, actually, first it started in a file drawer, and then it grew to the IKEA exhibit. And the room had kind of like stayed as this kind of storage room. And then when Miles was born, we turned our guest room into Miles' room, and we wanted to turn this more into a guest. So anyways, we're in the process. So you can see I have all these like random things. We're going to one day make this less random in here. But this was originally lawnfawn's headquarters, which is why there's all this random stuff here. And
that's
why
so cool.
A very old little, cloth to clean. So because there are just boxes of stuff that's still here.
I was going to say, who knows what you're going to find in there?
Oh my gosh, I know. All sorts of vintage lawnfawn stuff.
Ooh.
Someone says their stencil is stained red now. That's okay. It just shows you've been using it.
Yeah, you can see I had a little bit of residue from the paste on mine, and now it's kind of stained looking, but it's still going to work perfectly fine.
I'm going to go rinse mine in the sink.
If you've done only dye-based ink on it, you can always just use a little bit of soap and water too, and it should come off. But so here's the one with the paste and the stencil, okay? But those of you that are following along, I'm going to clean this stencil and we're going to go ahead and paste. I love, love, love Lawn Fawn's Fairy Dust Paste. We used it in the fall for our Create With Us class as well. I try to kind of think of supplies that we've used before so that we're reusing them in different ways to give you guys even more ideas. But what's nice about the fairy dust is it really goes with anything.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The one way I really love that people have been using fairy dust is, for example, on this background where we use both hearts, but we just use ink, you could go back with just one of the hearts, pick whichever one, and put glitter over that. And it'll give some of the hearts glitter over top of this beautiful ink blending that you already did. And that looks stunning when people do that. And we do have another stencil paste coming out where you can do that same idea, and it's really fun. So that's going to be coming out soon. And that release, our spring release, is going to be February 24th. So it's soon, and we're so excited. It's a fun, big, happy release.
So excited. It's a good release. So just so you guys know, off camera, I'm just sliding it in. I have a bowl. It's just like a takeout food container that I've kept in my studio, and I put water in it. So after I do my paste, I'm going to put it in there, and that way I can keep teaching you guys, and I don't need to go clean my stencil. I'll be able to just clean it after class.
Oh, that's so smart. Someone's asking a couple questions as you're starting again. Someone is asking just of different ways how to use the fairy dust in general. And then also they're asking if you can add color to the fairy dust paste itself.
So I think you probably could add a little bit of re-inker to add some color. I do think probably the better way of doing it is kind of layering, like Kelly was just mentioning. So even if you ink blend a whole background and then spread the paste on, it's translucent. So you're always going to see the color through it. Don't you think, Kelly?
Yes. And then Shari is mentioning, and maybe either Rebecca or Shari can link to it, but the intro video for the paste, Shari added color to our white paste using re-inkers.
Yeah.
So she was able to do that. And you could do it with the fairy dust as well, because it would give you a different look. Yep. Or you can go over top of color. And if someone, maybe Rebecca can link the intro video. I believe it was the fall leaf stencil intro video. It was a really cute card with cats jumping in fall leaves, if Rebecca can find that. And that one, what we did was we colored very similar to this. It was fall leaves, like a fun kind of gradient pattern. And that's when we did the technique with just one of the stencils. We put glitter over it, and I'm telling you, it is so pretty. So definitely, cool. We'll link those in the comments once Rebecca can find those videos, which I think is the intro to the paste, and I believe the other one is the intro to the fall leaf stencil.
So you guys can see, I'm just picking up. I'm kind of showing you about this much on the back of my palette knife, and I'm just kind of pressing and spreading at the same time. This stencil has like those littler hearts and the little dots. So sometimes you have to kind of not push down, but kind of pounce down your palette knife just to make sure the stencil paste gets into those little areas. And I'm just working my way around and making sure all of my things are filled in. I don't like to put a ton of paste on first. I rather go back in for more. And that way you're just not having, too much paste going on and it becoming a real mess. I'm also scraping a little bit like evenly along the top as I do this. So that's picking up any extra paste that I have, and I'm able to spread it and put it in different parts of the background. Hopefully that kind of makes sense.
And Rebecca has linked those 2 videos so you can see that intro to paste video. Shari did so many cool ideas. Like it definitely, you got to check it out. And then that fall leaf stencil one, it's the one with the cats where we went over what we had already colored with the fairy dust. And then now I'm excited to, when I get back into the actual craft room, add some re-inker to that fairy dust
Ooh, yeah.
stencil piece and see what it looks like.
Another idea I just kind of thought with the fairy dust is I posted a card today with the giant Let It Snow background sentiment die. And on the word snow, I use lawnfawn glue tube and chunky glitter. Shocker, I know. But you could take your palette knife and put some paste on just the bottoms of the letters, and that would be really cool too.
Oh yeah, and I've actually spread paste out on a piece of cardstock, let it dry completely, and then die cut it. And we did that in one of the videos of the Valentine's release. We did it with a giant XOXO. So I spread out the paste, then die cut it, and I had these like incredible glittered letters. And I prefer spreading it, letting it dry, and then cutting it. We tried it both ways. We also tried to cut the letters and then add the paste it to just the bottom would be okay, but it was really hard to cover the entirety of the letters. And so that's why we ended up doing it so that we spread the paste, let it dry, and then die cut. And it was really cute. So that might have been the intro to Giant XOXO. I think Rebecca can find that. She'll link that too, but it's just fun, different ways to use your paste. I know someone's asking if we can just store the paste, if you can just cap them. And you can. Another thing you could do would be to take saran wrap and like push it down onto there and then tighten the cap over it.
Yeah, you could use press and seal if you're in a really dry area. That might be smart. What I always try to do, this time of year, we're very dry because heat is running. So what I always try to do is put the paste back down you can see I've been using my fairy dust, but put it back down in there. Don't leave a lot up at the top where it's just kind of lingering. As long as it's kind of down there with where the mass is, it'll help as well. And I always make sure my cap is on really tight. I just wanted to quickly show you guys. So I put my stencil in the water here, but then I just put an acrylic block on top so that it won't float to the top. And this will keep it in the water. And then after class, honestly, all the paste is going to be off of this. I'm just going to quickly rinse it. And none of it's going to be dry on there or anything. And that's just the beauty of, again, if you can't, I can't really go to my bathroom right now and clean mine. You guys probably don't want to wait for that. So I like to do that too when I'm really busy working and I just don't want to be interrupted by cleaning stencils. So, all right. So I've got my wet stencil and my dry stencil. I'm just going to set those aside. And while we have our inks out for ink blending, what we're going to do, I know we're bouncing around a little bit. I'm just trying to kind of keep our supplies, using the same supplies at the same time. Out of card kit number 1, we have this larger piece of rectangle of cardstock, whatever you're ink blending on. The measurements are on the handout for the class prep. What we're going to do is I basically want to ink blend first and then die cut an XOXO. I like to ink blend it first because it's a lot easier to hold on to a chunk of cardstock than something that might be a bit daintier that's already been die cut. So I'm going to use that lobster ink again.
Someone's asking what the red is. It's the lobster. Someone pulled that up. Yep. Just the perfect red. I love it so much.
It really is the perfect red, and I say that every day, not just when I'm on video with Kelly. And so I'm going to start. I'm working right on my table surface because this is a glass tabletop. So if you guys have the Tim Holtz glass mat or some sort of non-porous surface, so a craft sheet, Honestly, you could use plastic from stamp packaging, but working on a non-porous surface will really be helpful when you're ink blending. I go ahead and take some ink on my brush and I tap it off right on my table. You can kind of see I left a little pool of ink there. And I'm going to start on my table or my slick surface. I'm going to do circular motions and bring it into the cardstock. We're not ink blending the whole thing. We're going to kind of bring it up 3/4 of the way, leaving it really soft towards the left side and getting it really dark and intense towards the right side. So I'm really going into that ink now to really saturate and make the color more intense on that right edge. This is just an easy way to get a little bit of a gradient for us to die cut our other XOXO.
This is really pretty.
Right? So it'll look something like this. And then I'm going to clean my table off.
I keep sticking my hand in the red ink.
I'm trying not to. If I was creating by myself, I am much, much messier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out my giant XOXO and I am going to die cut it. I have a little Altenew, it's a mini Blossom die cut machine. I have to say, I probably do 85 to 90% of my die cutting on this little machine. Obviously, you know, our background dies and things like that, I will get up and use my larger machine. But all of the lawnfawn images, a lot of the sentiment banners, all die cut on here, which is quick because it's a smaller platform to go through. And it's right here on my desk. Even when my desk is messy, I can find enough space to hold this little machine. So I find it so fast and efficient when I'm creating. So now we have our ink blended XOXO. How cute is that?
I'm gonna go in and make mine a little bit darker on the bottom. I didn't make it like dark as I wanted. And that's
Go
okay
for it.
too, right?
Go for it.
Yeah. I liked how Jen's was so striking at the bottom. So I'm gonna just add a little bit more onto mine.
And you could always die cut it first and ink blend it. But again, if I was trying to hold on to this die and ink blending, I'd be more apt to wrinkle it and bend it. So, oh, so cute, Kelly.
Yeah.
Aw, are those XOs for me?
They're always for you.
I look up and I see you like this, like.
XOXO. I love you, Jen.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put that back into my kit number 1 bag. Again, trying to stay organized here. It's a rare occasion. And then we are going to start coloring our critters. How's everybody doing? Oh, yay. Jackie loves her mini die cut machine. Awesome. After being Jen-abled. That's always makes me happy.
And I'm excited to color. Coloring, I like to.
Oh. Danielle said she had already die cut it, but she still had the negative, so she put it back in with tape and then ink blended. That's a great idea, Danielle. Saves you from cutting another piece of cardstock.
I think I typically would have die cut it and then inked it, but I preferred it how we just did it, and then it was easy for me to add like a little bit more if that's what I wanted.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just am really heavy-handed, so I know if I went into it already die cut with the blender brush, I would have wrinkled it, and then I would have had to die cut another, and ugh, it gets so frustrating.
Whole thing. It's a whole thing. Oh no, someone can't
Yay.
find your XOXO dye. I hope you find it soon.
Oh no. Check the floor. Meaning, like, if I'm assuming Margot, you already own it. Check your floor. It's
Yeah.
a dye too, so check the bottom of your Misty, the bottom of your
Oh,
station.
yes. Anything with magnets.
So I've talked about this before for these Create With Us classes and even my online classes that I share. I always have you guys stamp and die cut your images ahead of time. Now, I know that's not necessarily the easiest way to do things for coloring, but for sake of time, this is the best way to do it. And this is a fun tip that I learned from Mona Toth. And I was doing it in my in-person classes because you always got pre-stamped and die cut images in those. Is to just use some low tack tape, a washi tape. This is the Spellbinders Best Ever Craft tape, and just stick your images to that. So now when we go to color, you're going to have a little bit more real estate to hold on to. And then again, we're not waiting for everybody to have to die cut their images.
Oh, someone's saying that their granddaughter really loves using the little die cut machine. That's really good to know. And then they found their die cut machine, but someone also was mentioning to check the Misty. We've all been there, right?
Oh, good, yeah.
Your dies. And then the other thing that Rebecca was letting me know is a lot of people had questions on the best way to clean brushes. Do you have any tips, Jen? Because mine are like I forgot to do it, and then I mix my inks together by mistake. So,
so I don't clean my brushes very often. I will tell you, I only use dye-based inks with blender brushes. I find like Distress Oxides or pigment inks, they kind of gunk up the brushes a lot faster. So I still use my ink blending tools for that. But one thing that you can do is just before you start blending, take a piece of paper and just brush your tool on it just to kind of get some of that excess ink off. I mean, this is the red one that I just did my ink blending with. And you can clean it like that. If you really want to clean, you can rinse them in the sink. But just so you know, these are little bristles being held onto with glue here. So whenever you let them dry, make sure you dry them so that the bristles are down. You're not going to smush your bristles. They're going to stay shape. But that way the water is going away from the glue that's holding your brushes on. And I never vigorously rub my brushes hard. I pretty much just let them rinse and I press them kind of against the edge of my sink and I see a lot of the ink run out. And then that's good enough for me. They're never going to be clean again, right? They're never going to be perfectly white. But it gets a lot of the excess ink off. But I'll be honest, I use my brushes so much and I maybe do that 3 times a year, if that, because you just don't want a lot of water on your brushes.
and so for the like oxide type inks, then you use the foam type.
Yeah. So for the Distress Oxide inks, what I use are the I'm trying to find. Hold on one second. I use the Ranger ink blending tools with the domed foam. Okay, so if you've tried the foam before and you didn't like it, the domed foam does make a big difference. And oxides, you're going to get a smooth blend with oxides no matter what. So you don't really need the blending brush capability, in my opinion. And so I just use the foam with the oxides. And then that way, again, the oxides are just going to kind of cling all your bristles together and kind of make them gunky. Again, this is all my opinion. There's many ways of doing things in the artistic world, right?
Yeah, and I just have a set of brushes that are oxide brushes and a set of brushes that are dye brushes. They used to kind of all mix together, but it got a little crazy.
Yeah.
But the oxide brushes are just like a little more beat up, and that's okay, you know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like, I know that if one brush eventually gets, like, I think I've had to toss like maybe 1 or 2 brushes, and I use them a lot. It's rare, you know, where they get like almost like too spiky.
Yeah.
And so I've done that. So you can kind of find your best way, or try it with like a cup, like 1 or 2 brushes, and see how you like it. If you don't like it or it gets too clumpy, don't use all your brushes, for that. And so, there's lots of good ways of doing it that way. But I love the tips about storing them down when they're drying, because it makes sense. Not the water's just going to pool right where the glue is.
Yeah,
right?
it's going to wear that glue down. I see the questions about Copics, and I'm going to answer those in just a just a second. But I just also want to just remind you guys, and this is said with kindness, our tools, like our stencils, our blender brushes, our ink pads, even our markers, they're all meant to be used and loved, right? Things aren't going to stay pristine and like how you took them out of the package. And that only shows that you guys are getting creative and having fun with your supplies. Use your stuff, be okay with, a little staining on a stencil or your blender brushes looking loved. Again, we want to use those supplies. We want to make, clean looking cards, but our tools don't need to always be like in the best condition to kind of get the results that we want.
I personally love looking at my chamois, and it kind of makes me feel like, look how many things I've made, because I can almost, you can see parts of the images you stamped, it's like this history of what you've done, which is really
like
cool.
a medal. It's a medal of honor. Like it's
even look at this old towel I found that I probably haven't seen for like 8 years. And look at it, it's got like my work on it. I love I bring it to the office now.
Kelly, you're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute with your towel that you think is so loved.
Well, this is a towel that's sat here for like 8 years, but I do want to mention that a couple people have been saying they really love to rub their brushes on a microfiber towel. Or those other like cleaning type towels, and that works really well too. So that's a really good tip as well, is you could just have a towel to your side and then just rub them off on there, which is really awesome. And I know some people were asking about the tiny die cut machine. Yours is from our wonderful, beautiful friends at Altenew. There are other tiny machines as well from other companies. I just think the idea of just having the little tiny one is nice. And I wanted to make sure we grabbed, and then somebody loves the white heart on your nail, and I really do too. It's great.
Oh, thank you. I always try to do a fun little manicure when I'm teaching online. I figure you guys have to see my nails this long. They might as well look cute. So I did see quite a few questions about the markers. I tend to use the same Copic markers over and over. I share that top 50 list on my website. If you just Google my name and Copic, it'll come up. If Rebecca can find it, my Copic 101 blog post, she can link it. But you guys can always message me after this live, and I'm happy to answer any questions. My contact info is on the handout. But this year I have loved using the T's for Copics, and I'll tell you why. The toner gray. They're a bit cool. It's a bit cooler gray than the W's that I normally use. I always struggled with blending the C's. I found it really hard. And the T's blend really nicely. Now, if you do not have the T's, I would just recommend having 2 to 3 grays, a couple numbers apart. So I'm using even numbers, except for the 0, obviously. But, you could use odd numbers, whatever you guys would like, but just have 2 to 3 grays. So it could be warm grays, cool grays. It could be colored pencils. It could be whatever you would like. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for linking that.
And I'm also just going to interrupt 1 second too. And hopefully Rebecca can link the intro video to Set with Love, because what we did in that video was used every style of the markers. We used neutral, we used all of them. So
awesome.
If you guys look at that video, you can see different ways. The other things that we did is I went down like a rabbit hole, a skunk hole, I don't know, where
skunk hole.
I was like going through like, how do you color a skunk? Because the way a skunk actually looks and versus how we're used to seeing a cartoon color, they're different things, like the Pepe Le Pew versus like a real skunk. And so in that video, we're obviously going to color them today in a certain way, but if you want to see lots of alternate ways to color them, which you may actually switch up depending on your card, you can check out that video and see different styles of coloring in the skunks with the different markers based off of like my internet deep dive on cartoon skunks.
Yeah.
So it's fun. After we've colored today, it'll be fun to look at that, see the different markers being used, and then also see like the different styles of coloring them in, which I think is really fun, especially on a critter that is white and gray, right? So I think it's fun to look at that. So
I mean, honestly, you guys could have teal skunks.
oh yeah.
Right? These
I saw
are
someone do
parts.
a pink, I saw a pink skunk and it was so cute.
Pink skunks, brown skunks, whatever color skunks you want. I know when I was trying to come up with my color scheme, I really just wanted it to be very light, not super heavy and dark. So that's why I chose these colors. So we're going to get started with coloring. As I mentioned in the handout are coloring guides. All right. So if you haven't had a chance to download the handout, it's a great resource to download to have in the future. All of my online classes that I offer coloring guides. And even if you're not using Copic markers, I have a lot of people who take my classes who are using Spectrum Noir, other alcohol-based markers, colored pencils, any coloring medium. I think these coloring guides are helpful because they give you color ideas. They give you ideas of where to do shading. And so they're just a great guide, and that's what they are, is a guide. It's not the only way to do that, but it's just helpful sometimes when you're just wanting to kind of follow along. Awesome. Thank you, guys. All right, so we are going to get started. So I'm going to start with the T6, okay? So a very dark gray. And then I want to let you guys know, though, because I want my skunks to stay pretty light in color, I'm only going to use a very little bit of this T6. We're going to use a lot more of the T2 and the T0, okay?
And I'm going to mention really quick just a couple of things. So people are asking how to get the handout. Rebecca has linked it. And when you go to that page, it's our Create With Us page, not only can you download the handout we're using right now, but you can download the handouts and find the links to all of our previous lives as well, which all have coloring guides too. And I suggest printing these out, folding them up, and keeping it with your stamp set, because then you'll always have a little guide to use for that. As someone else was mentioning that they have Arteza and Ohuhu markers. Anything that you have is going to work with this coloring guide, because all you're really looking at while Jen starts to color is that's where I put my dark marker, that's where I put my medium marker, that's where I put my light marker, and it's giving you the guide for that. And it can be any type of marker at all. You can still use the guide. We just list what we use because that makes it handy for you guys to know. But once again, you could use any marker, anything you have. And if you are using different markers, I would love for you guys to share pictures of your coloring, because I think it'd be really fun for everybody to follow the hashtag and say, I used my Arteza markers and I used Jen's guide, and look how cute it looks, you know? So let me share that with us too.
Yeah. So you guys can see here is what I put down for the T6. I'm coloring the little guy that's facing the left first. And then I'm going to go in with my T2, so my medium gray, and I'm just coloring right along and pretty much over where I put the T6. If you're using alcohol-based markers, this is going to help the two blend together because the cardstock is getting wet. It's getting saturated. So I'm just working at covering that T6 line and thickening it up a little bit with the T2. So I'm just going to bring this up so you guys can kind of see what I've done so far. Yay! I'm glad you guys are loving the coloring guides. And a lot of, so I do these free mini classes with Kelly Marie, and then I have some paid online classes. And I try really hard to use similar supplies that we used in the Create With Us class, but also to give you even more resources. So more coloring guides, more technique ideas, and they're all hosted here on Facebook in private Facebook groups. So if you're interested, definitely check out my website for that.
Oh yeah, and the classes are so fun. This is just like a tiny taste of, you really get to go more into all of the thoughts and processes. And the next class, the cards look so cute. So yep.
Thank you. Yeah, Love Letters is the next class. on January 29th. So now that I have that T6 blended, I'm continuing with my T0, and I'm kind of just extending a little bit so that it's the real version of T0. It's not mixed with the T6 now because I'm kind of moving away from that marker. I'm also kind of drawing a little line under his chin to kind of preserve his cheek area is going to stay white. So you guys can see that here. So you can see I've left a little bit of white. And what I'm going to do is fill in the rest of that with the T0. So not the white part of his tail, not his little cheek face area, but the rest of the part that we've been coloring, I'm filling in and blending with the T0. Yay, Holly signed up. Thank you. Can't wait to see you in love letters. It's going to be fun, fun, fun. So here's my little guy. Oops, 1 minute. Let me just do the tip of his ear. So, whoops, here he is, all blended out.
And just mentioned, I love hugging skunks, that it doesn't just have to be Valentine's. And I totally agree. And that's why we included them in there. We also have our hug set that came out last May, I believe. And Rebecca can link that. And so you could include these characters with those other hugging characters when you have the Sending Big Hugs die set. So it kind of helps bring those guys back and helps you create. I love that. I like a Valentine's set to not just be Valentine's. I want to be able to use my stamp sets all year round. And so these characters can definitely be used at any time.
I agree.
And so wants to know where they sign up for your class. And so Rebecca is going to link that for you too. So she'll link our hug set, and she's going to link the Jen's classes.
Thanks so much, Rebecca.
It feels so weird to not be together today, Rebecca.
I know, without hearing her voice in the same room. Hi, Libby. Yay.
Hi, Libby.
So I'm going to use R30 next. You can use any light pink. If you're using Copics, it could be R20, R11. I'm kind of just looking over at my markers. R01, even like an RV10, any light pink that you have. And what I'm going to do is take that and kind of trace the inner line of his little belly, a very, very thin line. I'm going to color his nose, the inside of his ear, and that's it for now. Okay. And then what I'm going to do with that inline of his belly is I'm going to take the T0 and I'm going to trace right over it. And what this is doing is shadowing his belly to give it a little bit of a dimension, but giving it like this little pink hue, little pink glow to his cute little belly.
Okay. I love doing this. I think all of a sudden it's like you have a brand new marker. It's really cool.
Yeah. And I just noticed I did shadow his face a little bit with the T0. So from the right-hand side of his face, I'm just going to bring some color over. Not coloring his whole face, but just kind of shadowing that right side, still working with the T0. It's a little tricky to see on camera, but I think the coloring guide shows it pretty well. And then what I'm going to do is go back to that R30 and rosy his cheeks. I rosy all the cheeks. Never going to stop. No shame. Rosy cheeks.
Yes. I know. One time somebody said, "Oh, animals don't blush." I was like, "Oh, they don't really smile and hold bouquets, so I'll get rosy cheeks for me." But you don't have to add the rosy cheek.
Nope. Definitely don't have to. And so now I'm going to move on to my little guy that is facing the right. And it's really exactly the same. I'm going to add a little bit of T6 along his curve of his tail. A little bit at the base. Whoops. And then we've got a little bit along the left side of his body, avoiding his face, under his little belly, the left side of his right leg. And then on the top of his face, his little streak, which honestly technically is probably white, but we kind of flipped it to make coloring, or I flipped it to make coloring easier.
Yes, and that's what I was talking about the intro video, is we talk about, like, this is a Pepe Le Pew style because his face is white, but that's not really how skunks look. And so we go over all those different ways. So this is a really fun way, and I think that the most simple way to color them, but we show all the other iterations in the video too.
Yay. And so now I'm going to go in with my T2, and I'm really just tracing wherever I did the T6 repetitively until the two colors saturate and blend together. It is going to make the area a little bit thicker. And along his tail. And I have to just brag a little bit about the students I've had in my online classes over this past, year and a half. They've emailed me and shared like how much they've seen their coloring improve taking the classes. And that just makes me so happy. I think kind of signing up for a class makes you commit, makes you show up, makes you learn. And practice. And I really think people are seeing some awesome results. And I can't even tell you how happy that makes me. It's pretty exciting.
Oh, for sure. Especially just the more you practice, I feel like the more, even like we've been so prepping to do a trade show next week, all the stuff. And so even right now, I'm coloring, I'm like, oh, I'm getting back to the hang of it. The practice just really helps,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, during the holidays, I didn't make a lot of cards. I wasn't in my studio that much. I did a lot of computer work and stuff, but sometimes you come back in and you're like, okay, I got to dust off. All right, now I'm blending out with the T0, filling in wherever I haven't colored yet. So cute.
Yes, I know. Jen, Rebecca and I are pretty excited. We have a virtual trade show this next week where we're going to be showing the stores our spring product that's going to be coming out February 24th. And we're really excited to get to see them and have a little fun virtual event. So we're excited about it.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Our class is actually Monday night.
I know. I can't believe it.
It's crazy. All right, so I'm doing that
same from Oceanside. Hello. We can almost see each other.
I'm doing the same thing with the R30, kind of that little trace of his belly. And then I'll go over that with the T0 to just kind of take a little bit of the pink away and blend it together. If you hear any meowing in the background, that's Mr. Harley, my kitty. He likes to hunt throughout the day, so. Yeah, Shari, you need to get back to it, you little slacker. She's been on vacation. She's allowed to slack.
Oh, we're getting at people asking for hints.
I'm not allowed to hint because
I know. I'm trying to think of what hints I should give.
I'll get myself into trouble.
There's a very fun interactive die coming out, which I'm very, very excited about. And so I'm thrilled with that. I cannot wait to show you guys that. And I don't know, Jen, like it's wintertime, but like, don't you kind of feel like eating strawberries sometimes?
Ooh, I love strawberries. They're so yummy.
I wonder if maybe we're inspired by that.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Oh, someone's saying hi from San Clemente. That's right down the street from me. And yes, she did a lot of things before she left. We've been prepping a lot for this trade show, making cards, making samples, doing presentations and videos and all sorts of fun things.
Holly's going to be very happy.
Yes, Holly, if anyone can see Holly's comment, she will be very, very happy. She will be very, very happy.
All right, so I'm working on the two hugging skunks, you guys, the same way. I'm following my coloring guide. And I'm coloring exactly the same way, just a little bit of the T6. That goes a long way, so don't use too much. And then I'm going to blend it out with the T2. Ooh, look at Dee and all her guesses.
Oh, Dee, somewhere in there, you have a very good guess. And Sherry, you are going to be very, very happy. Someone saying hi from Langley. So I don't know if I've ever seen you. Have I seen you at Clipper Street before? I hope so. Oh, Holly just screamed.
We can almost hear you, Holly.
Sherry's hoping for something that I think her dreams are going to come true. And by the way, I think it's my favorite set of those, Sherry. So it turned out beautiful. Let's see what else.
It's a good release, you guys. It's one of the biggest of the year, so be ready. Be ready.
Yes, it is a big mama, and we won't have another release again until towards the end of May. So we're going to be doing lots of inspiration weeks. So we're going to do the inspiration week that leads up to the release on February 24th. And then in March and April, we're going to continue to feature all of those products that were released on February 24th. And what I love about that is it's going to give you more ideas, more inspiration, especially as we move towards the different holidays, whether it be St. Patrick's, Easter, Mother's Day, etc. And then, of course, just general happy, fun cards too, like birthday and thank you too. So I'm really excited that we're going to spend 3 months going over this release and like having fun with all of the different products. And I just love being able to do that.
And Kelly and I will be teaching 2 different Create With Us's. So stay tuned for more details about those. But because the release is so big, we're going to do 2 different ones with different supplies.
Gracias, Mariana. She says she loves the new stamps.
Yay.
And oh, yes. Hi, Julie. I remember your electric light shirt. That's awesome. Someone's asking for summer water sports in May. We do have some very summery things coming in. So we are working on the May release already. So it's always very confusing here because we have all of the holidays happening at one time. Sherry, oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like Sherry might have a bit of a like a camera in our studio because she is hoping for a giant get well soon, and I'm Sherry is also going to be very, very happy with that. And there is a very cute stamp set that works very well with that giant get well soon too.
Yeah, there is. So I'm just blending out my skunks over here. And you can kind of see the hugging skunks. We colored them a little bit opposite, right? Their faces are colored and their stripe goes over towards their head. And again, in your little creative world, it can be however you want it.
Yes. I know I'm trying to catch up here. I've been
giving away all the secrets. I wasn't going to stop you.
I guess she have. That's what I want now.
Notice how quiet I got. I was like, I'm just gonna sit over here and color, let Kelly keep talking.
Someone's asking when the release is, and it's going to be February 24th, and it's going to be the Wednesday before that we're going to be starting the inspiration week, and we'll of course do some sneak peeks leading up, and there'll be a lot of fun stuff leading up for that. So that's awesome. Yes, and someone says they appreciate the releases because they can budget it out instead of monthly. Yes, and that's the idea. We know it's a big release, and so we know that over time you can say, oh, I want to buy this one set, or I want to buy this one. I'm going to buy the stamp sets that they're going to feature in the first Create With Us, and then maybe in 2 months I could look at another set. So that's the idea, is that we have this big release and we get to inspire and share and use them in lots of fun different ways over those months. And I just think that's so fun because you really get to use the product and last.
Also, like I try to remind a lot of people, especially in my classes and stuff, is lawnfawn rarely retires things because everything coordinates together so well that we're still using it all, still wanting it all. So don't worry. Like we all have budgets. We've all, got other things we got to buy. So don't feel like you have to get it all at once. It's not going to go away for a very long time.
Yes. I
So I'm
know.
coloring my little, what do you call these, Kelly? Your little
I call them stink lines.
stink lines. Okay.
It's not very cute, but I don't know that I can come up with a different name for it.
I don't know. I want to quickly peek and see what type of words I used in the coloring guide because I'm
I
curious.
know, right? Like, yeah,
Oh,
stink
scent
lines.
trails. Scent
Scent trails.
trails.
That's much nicer than stink lines.
So I'm just coloring those. I start with the T6 towards the bottom. Then I blend up with the T2 and I finish off with the T0. Super, super simple, super quick.
I loved that Kara from our team, our design team, she does a lot of amazing videos. If you've never seen them, like it's just like you're sitting with her in her craft room. She's so fun. But she colored all the kind of like stink lines or scent lines with more of like a greenish hue. And I really liked it because it was like very stinky, you know?
I love it. I love it. Hey, real life, right?
Exactly. So I thought that was so clever that she did that. It's really funny.
Well, a little TMI. I have 3 kitties. One has the sniffles. So we have a vitamin that we put into their wet food to kind of help boost their immune system. Because sometimes when one cat gets it, all 3 get it because they share the same water bowl. Well, Mr. Harley's stomach wasn't loving it last night. He was laying next to me in bed, and I'm like, Harley, like
Oh
he
no.
totally let out stink trails. I'll just leave it at that.
He needed his own
Yeah.
stink lines.
Yeah, he needed his own little stink lines. I was like, are you kidding me? And he was fast asleep. He didn't even know he was doing it. Oh, boys. All right. So these are what my skunks look like. How are your skunks coming out, guys? I'm going to actually zoom.
Right. I'm looking back through some comments here. Someone says they love water sports, although we don't have water sport coming out in summertime. I love that idea, and so we'll definitely write that down. And let's see. Oh, someone loves that we don't retire very often. Yes, we don't do it very often because they're like our little babies. We're like, we can't let them go. The only time we retire is when we run out of space in our warehouse.
Oh my gosh, Ashley calls stink trails crop dust. She says my dogs crop dust all the time. I love it. So cute.
So someone says they're new to all of this. They want to know what markers we're using. We're using Copic markers. There's a lot of different types of markers on the market, but these are alcohol-based markers. And there are other brands that are alcohol-based too. And the alcohol-based helps them blend more easily, which is what you're seeing Jen do there, how she can create such a beautiful blend there.
All right, I'm grabbing out my markers for the hearts. We're going to use R29, R35, so just 2 reds. And then for 2 pinks, I'm going to still use that R30, and I'm going to use R32. So these are the colors I'm going to use, but again, any colors.
Oh, somebody's asking for us to bring back Good Fortune. You could try to bring one back. I know Admit 1 is another one people would love to see back. So I know there's some old people would love to see back. So we might have to do like a from the vault kind of thing.
I would love the set with the mailbox.
Although I think, Rebecca, we do have another fortune cookie that we could link Dee to that, even though that isn't retired, that might help her right now make a card for her sister-in-law.
Thank you, Antonella. Hopefully, Pamela, this is helping you color your skunks a little bit better. She said she was a little challenged.
And then someone has another question here. It's a really good question. It says, I find the color from my markers feather near the outline of my stamped images. Is that the paper, the markers, or possibly the ink I use when I stamp?
Yes.
I know. I'm going to go with first, potentially the ink that
yeah, so potentially it could be the ink. I'm going to kind of bend my camera down for a second to get to my ink. But this is the ink that I use for all of my coloring, whether I'm alcohol-based marker coloring like Copics or even watercoloring. The Lawnfawn Jet Black ink will work. It's nice and crisp. It's nice and super black. And it's not going to bleed or feather out. Paper is also really important. I'm using Nina 80 pound, which is Lawn Fawn's white cardstock that they carry in their shop. And then the other thing is, if you're using any alcohol-based marker that has a super brush tip, like this Sketch Copic marker, they do let out a lot of ink. So you just kind of have to learn to have a really light, gentle hand. And I kind of talk about a lot of those tips and tricks. Maybe Rebecca can just link to my Copic 101 blog post again, because I do think that's super helpful. And it does kind of list all of those supplies for you all together too, just so you have that information.
And someone had mentioned that this set had been challenging for her to color. So I'm glad that you're doing the class with us today and learning fun tips. Jen's going to have amazing tips in her love letters class. And then we always have the intro video as well. So those are lots of different tips, either learning live and in person with Jen, either here or in her amazing class, or taking a look at that video where we can go some different ways where you might find a way that is better for you.
So I am going, and again, these next images that you guys that I'm coloring are super tiny. So if you just want to color them with one marker, that's totally okay. But I try to just share different tips and tricks during class, just so you guys can learn. But again, little images like this, I often just color one color. But in this instance, for the banner, we're alternating colors. We're going to have a red heart, a white heart, a pink heart, and then red, white, pink, red, which I actually just colored mine wrong because I wasn't paying attention. But anyways, for the red hearts, I just did the little bottom points of the heart with the darkest red, which is R29. And then I'm going to take that R35 and go over where I colored the R29 to get those two to blend together. And then I'm going to fill in the rest of the heart with R35. Okay. Super quick, super simple, but you most certainly can use just one color. It's totally okay. I sometimes go a little above and beyond for classes just to give you guys the ideas. You can choose what you want to do with those ideas. So
answer.
On my,
sorry, Jen.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, no, you keep going. Okay. I'll answer after.
Sorry. So on my sample, I did red, white, pink, red, white, pink. And in this case, I alternated reds because I was talking and not paying attention. So I'm just going to do reds and pinks. But if you want to do red, white, pink, you can just peek at the coloring guides for that. So I'm going to take the R32 and do the same thing, the little points on those hearts, and then blend it out with the R30.
So I want to answer a couple questions, people. One, I love hearing all of the sets that you guys would love to see back, like the mailbox one, the amusement park, the chalkboard. I'm definitely keeping this in mind, and I'm going to talk to Erica about it for sure. Someone's asking about the pearlescent vellum. Oh my goodness, do I wish the pearlescent vellum was back in stock. We have been waiting, I think it might be a year now for it to come back. And we're still waiting on the manufacturer. So I think we just all cross our fingers and hope that eventually it comes in, but we are waiting and we can't wait. We do kind of have a fun take on pearlescent vellum coming out soon, which not in the spring release because we couldn't quite get it in time, but after that, and it's really fun as well. And then hopefully we'll get the traditional pearlescent vellum in soon. Make sure to sign up for the back in stock notification, because when we do get it, the website will automatically send you an email and you'll know as soon as it's in. And so, like I said, I wait every day, like every couple of weeks, I'm like, is it here yet? So hopefully soon. And I know Rebecca linked to the jet black ink pad for the alcohol-based markers. And we'll kind of look at it a little more.
And I just colored the bow and the heart. Hello, Rebecca, Marco.
And here's another question. Somebody said they missed the coloring for the skunk stripes. Did you leave it completely white or did you add a little T0?
I did a little T0. Let me bring them back over. I'm really zoomed in just so you guys could possibly see. But I did a little T0 like line along the black line. So I don't know if it's showing up on camera, Hopefully it shows up better on the coloring guide, but it's just a little hint of shadow. All right. So I've got all my images colored.
For the R30 that you did on the banner, how did you blend out the light pink, the R30 pink?
I used R32 for the dark. Is that, and so I just put it,
I see. So the R32 and then
on the little points, and then blended with the R30.
Got it. That's what I missed. I figured since I missed it, maybe someone else did too.
Yeah, of course. So now what we're going to do is, you guys might have thought I was a little crazy. That is true. I probably was.
Always.
Yeah. But what we're going to do is, in your handout on the card 2 prep, I had shown these 3 little strips of white cardstock, and I wrote the measurements on there just so I'd be able to tell you guys, but you don't need to have the measurements written on them. What we're going to do is a little bit of a gradient on them with our Copic markers or whatever coloring medium we're using, because then we're going to die cut hearts from them. So, give me 1 second.
Now I'm going to look at I've got some comments piling up here, so I wanted to
go for it.
See. Oh, I love seeing people have been sending a lot of requests in, and they're really fun. I love that you guys love our mice. They're definitely making an appearance for spring. Someone's asking about a recommendation for a Copic starter set, and I know that we've linked to Jen's class, but Rebecca will link that again. She has a list there, and we both, Rebecca and I, or Jen and I, have a tendency to use the same markers. So even if you watch some of the lawnfawn videos as well, you'll kind of see that I always use like certain reds or certain things. You really don't need them all for a long time. I just had like 100 of them, which sounds like a lot. That's all I did, and easily could have combined with 25 to 30 of them. You can do a lot.
So what we're going to do, you guys, is I made these cute little gradient hearts, okay? And kind of like when we ink blended first and then die cut, we're going to color these strips of paper first and then die cut. So the first one that we're going to do, let's go ahead and do our thick one, which mine is 7/16. Which I did mention a 0 centering ruler in the supply list, which we're going to use in a few minutes. But I know Lawnfawn has their amazing ruler in their shop, and the ruler gives all of those crazy measurements. So when you maybe thought I was insane, that I was like, cut something to be 7/16, you can definitely figure it out with this ruler. I am horrible at measuring, but the ruler is a lifesaver. All right, so we have our thickest of the 3, the 7/16, and we are going to use our purples for that. So I used V06 and V12. Okay.
I'm going to keep looking. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Yep. And then the way that I do that is very similar to how we did that ink blended gradient at the beginning. I'm going to hold my strip so that it's vertical, and I'm going to work from the right side because I'm right-handed. You obviously might do it a little bit different if you were left-handed, but I'm going to take that dark purple and pull it up from that right side. Just like so. I'm going to zoom back in. Give me 1 minute. There we go. Just like that. No, doesn't have to be even or anything like that. Then I'm going to go in with my V12, and I'm going to blend down the line, okay? Which means I'm continuously dabbing to saturate the paper so the 2 colors blend together. Don't worry about that little pushback line you get. We'll talk about that in a minute. But also when you're doing this, try to keep a little bit of your white paper white. Working my way down the strip so it looks like this. Okay, you can definitely see the line, what I call the pushback line. Don't worry about that. So then I'm going to actually just turn the paper because it's more comfortable for me, but I'm going to continue with that V12, and I'm just going to do swipes, one single swipe down to fill it in with just one layer, okay? And then the last thing I'm going to do is take my V6 and again, just go right over where we originally went with that dark purple. And that's going to fix that pushback line. And because our cardstock should be pretty wet, if you're using an alcohol-based marker, it's going to kind of blend all in. Okay? And we're cutting little hearts from this, you guys, so it does not need to be perfect. This is the 7/16 strip, just the thicker of the three. And I just made these strips the size of the hearts we're cutting out, you guys, because when I make a gradient, I want to make sure I'm going to get a little bit of all of the gradient. Okay.
Okay, and I'm going to answer a couple questions here. Someone's asking if there is a new animal for the February release, and there is, and it's adorable. Very, very cute. I think you're going to love them. Somebody wants to see more videos using liquid stardust. So that's something good to know. Maybe we can incorporate that into a Create With Us class.
Oh, yeah. I'll definitely take note of that for sure. So now I have my strip that is 3/8.
Someone else is asking if they'll be able to watch this session later. Yes. So once the session ends and Facebook processes it, it'll be up on our Facebook page. And it'll be there permanently. You can also head to the Create With Us class, and we actually link back to those previous recordings. So you can download the handout and watch a recording of any of the old classes as well.
So this is 2 inches by 3/8, and I'm going to use teal. It had to happen, you guys. You know, I had to bring in the teal. So we've got B13 and B11, and or BG13, sorry, and BG11. And we're going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to bring the dark color in from the right side, holding it vertically. And then blend it out with the BG11. And this is just a fun little technique. Again, I wanted cute little gradient hearts, so I felt it was much easier to blend with my Copics, a little strip of paper, than to try to get ink blending to work. Again, it's just nice to kind of see other things you can do with your markers. You know, just always thinking of things to share with you guys.
Someone says their marker is throwing a tantrum, and I love that. That is a great way to
put it in timeout and use a different color. All right. So now that we have the teal done, we're going to do some pink hearts. So this strip of paper is 2 inches by 5/16. And for that, I'm using RV21 and RV13.
Someone's mentioning that the skunk and cereal. Oh, Rebecca Marco is from the skunks and cereal are their favorites from this release.
I love that a few people said they were waiting for the teal because they know me so well.
Yeah, they're like, where is it? It's coming.
Which, by the way, you guys, I am obsessed with teal. Just remember, if your favorite color is purple, anytime I color with teal, you could color with purple, right? Those are the beauties of these online classes, is you can always switch things up. So I started with the RV13, and now I'm blending out with the RV21. Real quick and easy. And then I'm going to go ahead and take out my my Hearts and Stars skinny tag. Oh my gosh, I just had like a mind blank here.
This die, I want to say this die is one of my favorite dies ever because what I was doing to get the perfect size hearts was going through all of my different die sets and trying to find like the right size heart. And so what we did was we created a die set that has the perfect size hearts and stars in these strips. So you cut out multiple of them at a time. And I just love it. And then we threw in this little tag because I'm pointing the wrong way. We threw in this little tag because it's just to add a little something extra to the die. And this tag has become one of my favorite tags too.
Super cute.
A lot of sentiments. Yeah.
Yeah, I use this die set a lot. Now, I chose to keep my die together because I often do just take little strips and cover what I want. And then you don't need to worry about kind of having all the pieces, so that you could do either way, you know? So I am taking the 5/16 one and covering the pink one and covering the smallest hearts. There's 3 sizes to hearts and stars on this set. And then the teal, I am covering the medium. And I'm just using some of that best ever craft tape from Spellbinders. This is what I use to hold my dies in place.
And I happen to like Post-it note tape. For today, I think I have washi tape here. Like anything works.
Anything.
You know?
Yeah, anything. You just want to make sure your darkest part is near the points of the hearts, which I just had to fix.
And I'll show you guys. I have mine separated, my dies. So I'm going to show you how I'm holding it in place here. I'm just taping it on just like that, and I kind of folded the tape to the back, and so just hold it in place perfectly, and then you can just remove the tape after.
And we're only using 3 of the hearts, so you'll notice like you might be shy some cardstock on your purple. That's totally okay.
And then someone's saying that instead of the lobster, they use seedless preserves, and I love that. Another person says that they love the skunk tiny gift box add-on, and we do have another fun tiny gift box add-on coming out for the spring February 24th release, which I'm really excited about.
Make sure you guys post your cards after class or later or whenever you make them, and use that hashtag LF Create with Us.
Yes, especially if you changed up your colors of markers or ink, and we would love to see it.
All right, I'm getting my little dish so I don't lose my hearts.
And someone's saying they want our lawnfawn deer as a stamp. We've never quite made him into a stamp. It's just our special little logo guy, but we do have some very adorable deer in stamp sets. And the deer, he shows up in a lot of different places, but he was originally in Toboggan Together, and then we've had him featured in a bunch of different other stamp sets. And he is my favorite. He's so cute. We made him into a paper piecing die called Cheery Deer this year too. And I love that, like, now I can have a giant version of that.
So now you guys, I'm just looking, I think we're ready to kind of do some stamping and some assembling. So we're going to continue on with this card right here, since that's what we just did the hearts for. Okay. And I'm going to get out my stitched rectangle, and this is where I said that the 0 centering ruler might be helpful for you to kind of find the center of your card, of your stitch rectangle. So I'm going to get out that 0 centering ruler and a pencil.
The reason why I was going to say this color combo, Jen, it very much reminds me of like I had like a matching windbreaker suit in the like.
Oh yeah, this is definitely our childhood. These colors.
I am. Yeah, I love it. A hypercolor shirt, maybe, you know, in these colors. I love it.
So I am doing this because we have this sentiment on this stamp set at the bottom. It says, "This card is sent with love," and I often cut my stamps. I'm okay with it. I know I can line them back up again if I want to, but I know some people don't like to do that. So sometimes I share with you how I cut it. And today I'm going to share with you kind of what to do if you don't cut it. So I'm going to use this 0 centering ruler to find my center. And it makes it so that your 1.5 is hitting your edges. And I'm going to do a little tick mark on the 0. And for this, I am going to use my stamping platform, but you probably could still do well with an acrylic block as well. I talk about this a lot in my own time. I use acrylic blocks to stamp sentiments all the time, but in a live like this, I don't really want to mess up. So I tend to lean on my stamping platform a little bit more. All right, so I'm going to put this in my stamping platform, and I'm going to take out this card is Sent with Love sentiment. And what I did is I figured out kind of how many letters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. A space is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 letters and spaces. So I'm going to go between the 6 for where my tick mark is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we got 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so you're going to have between the A and the R. Hopefully this makes sense. Sometimes my brain does things a little weird, but so I have my strip in place where the A and the R are lining up with the tick mark, so it's in the center. And then I'm going to use my black ink pad to stamp a sentiment, but I'm only going to ink up this card is. If you're nervous about accidentally inking, what you can do is take a little Post-it note, cover Sent with Love, go ahead and ink up, take that Post-it note away because it's all inky and messy, and then go ahead and stamp down.
It took me that entire time, by the way, to find my stitched rectangle. Anyone kills me.
I love it. And I, of course, forgot to wet my stamp chamois, so I'm going to use some water. Silly me.
I'm going to look through and see if there's some comments here. Let's see. Everyone says they love the hearts and stars die. Oh yeah, Shire was mentioning that our little deer, he's trademarked, so he probably won't be a stink, but he's so cute. Are we releasing ink pad colors? We have 2 new colors coming out in February, so I'm really excited about those. And one of those matches one of the card stocks you guys have been requesting, so that's really cool. Someone's asking if there'll be another set that works with the waving pull tab. We have been trying to make one work, so we've been working on it. So we're definitely trying to cook up something fun for that waving pull tab. And let's see, someone had to go take their kid to the airport, but thank you so much for being here. And you can always watch the rest later. Someone mentioned Toboggan Together. They love the deer in that set. And someone used them for their Christmas cards. Someone's mentioning how the colors are totally tie-dye. I love that. People are asking about the ruler. I believe that Rebecca did link those.
All right. And so now just going to move my stitched rectangle over a little bit, but now we're going to line this up so that the T for with is on that tick mark, which leaves SC hanging out on the left side and VE hanging out on the right side. I'm going to go ahead and put my Post-it note in place again to cover this card is. I'll ink up Sent with Love. Move my Post-it note away. And go ahead and stamp it. So cute. I'm going to let that ink kind of dry a bit, but if the tick mark is visible, you can always go in with a good quality eraser and get rid of that if you're still able to see it. Sometimes the sentiment fits just perfectly and takes away that problem. All right. I'm going to put my stamp back. And now what we're going to do is take our, I'm going to take out my little acrylic block. I love this little guy for all those little images from lawnfawn, the little faces, the little hearts and things. I'm going to take out the open heart that's in the set, because we're going to sprinkle a few of those. I'm going to start with a couple around the sentiment. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my hugging skunks down. So I'm going to gently peel them away from my tape. Mine have been on the tape a long, long time, so I always want to be really careful peeling them off, since I think I prepped this back in late November.
All right, I'm going to answer some questions as we're looking at that.
Thanks, Kelly.
Oh yeah. Somebody actually gave a very good tip. When they cut their sentiment stamps, they do it with a bit of a diagonal, so it's a little bit easier to line them up later, which I thought was a really nice tip.
Ooh, good tip.
Cindy is asking that her original stamp skunks are stamping fuzzy. So what I would suggest, I don't know if you have a stamp chamois, but I would just clean them really well and make sure there's just maybe no residue or something on them, and then stamp them off so stamp on your ink pad and just stamp them off a bunch of times on some scratch paper and see if that helps you out. And if it doesn't for any reason, Cindy, please email us at info@lawnfawn.com and we'll make sure to help you with your stamps. Someone asked if the magnets come with the Misty.
Yes.
She got one. She said that she just got one and it didn't have magnets with it.
The new Misty, the 2.0 Misty, comes with the bar magnet. And that's what I'm using right here. This is that new Misty with the bar magnets. The older Misty should come with the little circular magnets. So if you didn't get any magnets, I would contact whoever you got your Misty from.
Yeah, and see. And I know you can buy extra magnets, I believe, for Misty as well. Someone's saying they're loving the hearts technique, and they're talking about with Swish Misty version. So there's a mini and the regular, and I believe there's like a really big one as well. And there are some diversions. She's coming from a newer one. I use my original one, and it's fantastic. So I love it.
Yeah.
Someone's asking about getting a lawnfawn shirt. We are working on doing a lawnfawn sweatshirt. So hopefully when we can sort that all out one day, we're finding the right screen printer for that. Someone's asking if it'll be available to view later, and this will be available to view later. So no worries. And then someone was saying that you could cut the stamps. So you can cut the stamps, or if you're scared of cutting stamps, Jen just showed a really fun technique so that you don't have to cut your stamps, but you can still have stacked sentiments. Somebody wants to know what your hexagonal work surface is, but I believe it's a desktop, right?
Yeah, it's a glass desktop from IKEA. So I just wanted to mention, I just put my hugging skunks down, but I did put it a little ways away from the sentiment, because we're going to put a little bit of a chunky glitter ground underneath them. And I just wanted to make sure you guys have enough space to do that, where it's not kind of cluttering into your sentiment. So just wanted to mention that real quick. So I've added the skunks and the little scent trail with foam squares. If you cut these little foam squares in half, it's like the perfect width to put behind the scent trail. And now I'm going to pop this up with foam tape onto my stenciled background. And I'm kind of getting all this done before we start doing some stuff with some wet adhesives, so that those wet adhesives will have time to dry.
And I'm going to answer some more questions. So Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. So someone's 5-year-old granddaughter was crying because she wanted to visit lawnfawn and pick out her own stamps.
Oh,
She realized she didn't understand she could just drop everything to come visit. That's so sweet. And I hope that one day your granddaughter and you can come visit one day when we can be back to doing events. We would love that. Somebody has some ink pads that may not be working quite as well as they should. So if you can email us at info, that's INFO at lawnfawn.com, we will get those either troubleshooted or replaced for you in case there is some kind of strange problem there. So we're always here to help. So you can always email info at lawnfawn.com and we'll make sure to get you some ink pads that are working great.
so I'm just starting to put the little hearts down. I'm using my lawnfawn glue tube, and I'm really just kind of treating these guys like sequins. So I dab a little bit of glue onto my card, and then I place the heart down onto it. And so I'm, again, just adding a little heart trail up this, all in this white space of this card. I do a little dot of glue and I place my sequin or my little heart or whatever it is you're working. I just place it there. I don't really squish down because that's when you might get your glue to ooze. But if you just place it there, gravity will do what it's supposed to do. No need to press down on it.
Some other questions. Libby mentioned that the magnets for the Misty are sometimes on the bottom. So someone may not have mentioned this. So thanks so much for that tip, Libby. You are awesome. That is a really good tip. So definitely look at the bottom. And also someone mentioned that baby wipes could have put fuzzies on someone's stamp when they were stamping. So the stamp chamois for the win. And I agree, it will take away the fuzzies forever if you use the stamp chamois. Let's see. Somebody wants to Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas was an exclusive set, so unfortunately we can't re-release it for Simon Says Stamp September event. But we do have a lot of really cute holiday sets on our site. And someone's been loving the lots of hearts Semper, and someone's saying that we have the best customer service ever. Thank you so much. Jess on our team is amazing, and she will always help you guys out with anything you need. So we're always here to help. And someone said, thanks so much for the recommendation to look at the bottom of the Misty. So that's a really good tip.
And you guys can see I'm overlapping a few of the hearts, just kind of another fun thing that maybe we don't think of. And you really can't do that as much with sequins. So I'm kind of just overlapping them.
And then Jen, did you pop up the stitched rectangle or did you put it flat on your card?
Oh, yes, I did.
I don't know why I ask. It's always popped, right?
A lot. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. Honestly, everything's popped. I'm surprised these hearts aren't popped in my world.
All the pops.
All the pops. All right. Once you get...
Someone else was asking if we could repeat what's popped up and what isn't.
So yeah, sure. So the stitched rectangle is popped. The skunks are popped and the scent trail is popped. And I have no problem repeating it, but I do just want to let you guys know I list that out on the handout. So if you miss it and you're watching the replay or making these cards later, I always put down what I've glittered and what I've popped because I know that's sometimes hard to translate in a photograph. So now that I have my little ombre hearts in place, I'm going to add a couple more of these open hearts with the stamp. Just to kind of fill in. So cute. I love it. Love it. Love it. And then we are going to get to glittering all the things on this card.
Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. Jen, you're amazing. And thank you so much for your comments, Lori. We really appreciate it. We love what we do. So hearing that really makes us happy.
Love it. So this is what I've got so far. And those of you guys that know me know I need to add a little bit of glitter. What I'm going to do first is use Lawnfawn's Prisma glitter. I keep it in a like sandwich food plastic container so that there's a lot of room to work, but not, you're not going to make a mess because you're like funneling into small areas. I use the Quickie Glue Pen, which is available in the Lawn Fawn shop. I love the Quickie Glue Pen. And what I'm going to do is fill in these little open hearts that we stamped in black and add a little bit of Quickie Glue Pen. And then the cap on the back of the pen acts kind of like a scoop. So I'm going to take that, bring up just a little bit of glitter and put it over those hearts that I added the glitter, the Quickie Glue Pen, sorry. And then I'm going to tap it off. So you can kind of see that little bit of sparkle. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the ones that I did up here. So because my card is already put together, I would never want to like pour glitter onto this or dip this into the glitter bucket. That's where a mess could really happen. So that's why I like to kind of use the cap like a little scoop and just bring a little bit of glitter to what needs it. And then I'll just dump it off back into the glitter bucket, right? And then the next thing we're going to do is add chunky glitter. Work it, chunky glitter. Work it, work it.
So someone is asking for anything new for the Slimline collection and if we could have another Slimline card during a Create With Us.
Oh, yes. Maybe if Rebecca could just maybe text me Slimline and Liquid Stardust. Because what I'll do is I will make sure I use the same Slimline dies we've used in previous classes. And we'll definitely do that.
For sure. I love that idea. And there is a new Slimline die coming out in February. So, and it's going to go with that new critter I was talking about too. So that's really, really exciting.
So, oh, good call. So I just used the Lawn Fawn glue tube and I was fairly generous with it. Hopefully you guys can kind of see that on camera. And with the chunky glitter, I like to use a spoon. So I'm just going to bring that chunky glitter up to the glue and then tap it off. And this is kind of building a little ground for our cute little skunks to stand on. I mean, I would love to stand on a chunky glitter ground. I think life would just be so fun.
Right.
And then the last little thing I did with my ombre hearts is, and I had it on the supply list, is I really like to use glossy accents for a lot of things. But glossy accents just on its own can kind of make paper embellishments look like real embellishments. So I'm going to just add a little bit of glossy accents to the tops of these little ombre hearts. And then they end up looking like these embellishments that, you bought, but you made them yourself. You can make them any color that you want, any look that you want. So I'm just dabbing a little bit of glossy accents on those hearts. And hopefully the light will start to pick that up. So you guys can kind of see that they're just going to make them look a little bit more like embellishments. For the chunky glitter, Holly, I use the Lawn Fawn glue tube. You could use glossy accents too, either way. Just a nice wet adhesive to hold the chunk.
And if you guys like glossy accents or glossy things or glitter things, you may be happy with some new glossy glittery things we have coming out for spring too. Man, I've been seeing all sorts of things. I also love that Libby wrote glitter all the things. And I wanted to say hola Daniela, who's in Argentina right now.
Oh,
thank you so much for being here. And I love the Slimline ideas. Oh, someone's so excited about getting this set and using it. I just love that.
I love it. Libby's one of my biggest fans. She's so sweet. So Libby works for Hero Arts, and she's my trade show bestie. So Kelly Marie and I teach a lot of classes and a lot of the trade shows, but there was also some trade shows that I would just go to by myself and represent Lawn Fawn. And Libby would always be at all the shows with me. So Libby and I are trade show besties. We haven't been able to see each other in a long time.
I miss seeing you so much, Libby, and all of our Hero Arts friends, man. You guys, we've had our booths across from them, and we just have such a blast with our friends at Hero. They are awesome. So I miss them a lot.
So Kelly, Libby just booked her flight. She's coming up to Cape Cod to teach at my Crop on the Cape event for Hero Arts.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Okay, I want to see pictures.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, okay, I'm going to sneak out there too.
I wish. Oh my goodness. I think Mike might go a little crazy.
Yeah. So my embossing paste, my fairy dust is dry, you guys, from the beginning of class. Now I know I've got a lot of heat running in my house right now because it's a frigid day, but hopefully yours is dry too. If it's not dry, you can just watch the assembly part. Remember, you can always go back to the replay, and, you know, fast forward and get to this spot and assemble with me that way. So we are going to move on to our other card. Love it. So cute. Oh my gosh. I'm just re-loving this all over again. Okay. Let me look for my kit. I'm like losing everything.
No, and I'm doing something a little bit different on my card. So I made the oops of putting my panel on before I stamped the black hearts. And I was worried about stamping them because I didn't quite have enough foam. So I put some dots of glue tube, and I'm adding the chunky glitter to it.
Ooh.
And I'm going to get like little chunky glitter, little circles to fill in where those black hearts should have been. So it was a fun way to kind of come up with something new.
I can't wait to see that. You just said more chunky glitter, so
I know. So I figured this was Jen approved change. So
for sure,
it's already looking pretty cute. Oh, wait. I can.
Oh yeah, super cute.
So kind of help fill in the space, but I was just a little bit. I was like, gosh, I wasn't like generous enough on the foam to risk stamping.
Yeah.
So that was the my little. I actually really like it. It's fun.
So I'm starting with this card and adding the red strip of cardstock down. Now, for this strip of cardstock, I would recommend using a really strong adhesive. So I use the Lawn Fawn glue tube. You could use like an ATG tape runner, just something really strong because you're adhering to that fairy dust paste. Sorry, my words. You're adhering to that fairy dust paste, and you want to make sure it sticks to it. So it needs to just have some strong adhesive. So the Lawn Fawn glue tube works perfectly for that.
And someone's mentioning that they'd love scalloped mini slimline stackables. I think that'd be really fun. And someone wants to know when the new release happens. It's February 24th, and I'm going to open up my calendar right now and tell you when the installation going to start. So that is going to start on February 16th. So that day we'll start to have our big giveaway, our videos, all of that. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll make sure, of course, to put a lot of things in emails and social media. So you guys will have that date when we'll do a little save the date too. Someone's mentioning how much they love Hero as well, and another company with outstanding service. And I completely agree. They are the best.
So I'm using lobster ink, and I'm going to stamp this card is sent with love again on the sentiment banner.
Someone's asking if we could have a lots of hearts emboss folder, which I think would be amazing. I haven't ever done embossing folders yet. It's something I would love to do. So Rebecca, let's put it on the list to research how we get some embossing folders made, because I think that'd be really fun.
Oh, yes, Sherry. 2 new paper collections with the spring release.
Yes. One is a variation on an older collection, and the other one is a brand new collection.
So I put my red cardstock down not straight. So I'm going to do a little live on camera fix. I'm going to trim a little bit off of all 4 sides. And this way I'll be able to fix how that bottom is not straight. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see how this goes, guys.
I'm trying to decide which side to put my red cardstock on. I think I'm going to cover up some of my oopsies with it. So that worked out well.
Perfect. All right, much better. Even I couldn't deal with that. So what I'll do later is just mount this on another piece of cardstock. Maybe red, maybe pink. Who knows? All right, so now we have our 2 XOXOs. We've got one that we cut out of pixie dust sparkle cardstock. And then we have our ombre one. And so I'm going to take my ombre one and I'm going to put a little bit of glue tube on the backs of the letters. You kind of want to make sure a little bit is on all the letters, but you don't need a lot. You can kind of see, I did not squeeze my tube very hard. You just want a little bit. And then we're going to offset it so that the pixie dust is behind it with a little glittered shadow. Glittered shadow, guys.
A little trail glitter where you go, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much my life.
Someone's asking about hot foil plates. We also haven't come out with that, but that could be fun too. I haven't played with hot foil much, but I think it looks gorgeous.
So it looks like this. So cute. So what I'm going to do is on the backs of my XOs, if you have these little foam squares, so cute, Kelly. If you have these little foam squares, you can cut them in half. But also, Scrapbook Adhesives has the foam strips. Kelly, are you guys carrying the foam strips in the store?
Rebecca's going to have to clarify for that. I know the other one thing we've been looking at carrying is the strips and then also the micros. I don't know if you've used those yet, but they're really cool.
Okay, I haven't used those yet.
Rebecca, let us know, and if not, we'll bring it in. And that's Rebecca. So she's going to put it in the comments for us.
Awesome, because I know you guys already carry the Scrapbook Adhesives stuff. So these strips are great. You can see how they just fit perfectly.
Oh, and thank you. Some people are saying so many sweet things and how much lawnfawn they have in their craft rooms and stuff. And thank you. Right. I can't tell you, like, we're a family company and this is us right here. So just to know that that we get to craft a little bit with you every day makes me so happy. Somebody wants more window scenes. I think that Maxine's going to be very happy. You guys are in our heads. I'm impressed.
Seriously.
There's been some really good guesses. Very good guesses.
Let's see. Donna says, oops, I ombre my glitter XOXO. Oh my God, I bet that looks super cute.
Okay, that you have to share with the hashtag because I want to see that.
Yeah. There's no oops and glittering in the same sentence. There's always, like, it's always going to be amazing. And when I have a curved letter like this, you guys, you could bend these strips for sure, but I just put a little bit on the left, the right, the top, and the bottom. So I kind of just did the left and the right there.
Oh, yeah, so Rebecca's linking to some of the products that we carry. Rebecca, let's bring in the Scrapbook Adhesive strips too, because they're thinner. And then the iCraft strips I really like because they're thicker and they're really good for shakers and sliders.
Oh, yeah.
So I think we should get both of them.
I agree.
Oh, someone says their husband loves the cards that she makes with him with lawnfawn. I love hearing that. Oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, and someone loves their Lawn Fawn mug. I love that. I used it for tea. I drink like a nighttime sleepy tea every night, and I love using the Lawn Fawn mug. And if you guys love mugs, we have been working on more designs of them. We use a local company that makes them here in Southern California. And so we're really thrilled about that. I don't know exactly when they're going to come out because there's just been delays, as you guys know, with everything, but we're really excited about them. They're really cute, and they definitely will have new mug designs this year. And they're made by a company that makes the mugs for like local coffee shops and diners. So they're like dishwasher, microwave safe. They can last through anything. I love them. Made in the US. They're really awesome. So they're fun mugs.
So I just remembered something that I totally meant to do at the very beginning of this Create With Us. But I was so excited to get started with you guys. I'm pretty sure my dad is still watching and listening, and it is his birthday on Monday. Chris and I are actually driving up to New Hampshire to see him tomorrow for lunch. So Dad, if you are still watching me create cards, happy early birthday. And if you guys want to put some birthday messages in the comments, his name is Jimbo, and I'm so excited to see him tomorrow. So I meant to do that at the beginning.
Happy birthday, Jimbo. I've heard so much about you that I feel like I met you. So I'm so excited that you guys get to celebrate together.
Aww. So I'm going to work from the bottom up on this card. That's kind of how I tend to work if I want to make sure everything's going to fit. So I'm going to start with my sentiment banner, and I want it to hang off the red a little bit, but then, go on the red. Mine's going to hang off a little less because remember I had to trim my card down. And then I'm going to place my XOXO so that it's overlapping the sentiment banner. Thank you guys so much for leaving comments for my dad. Again, I love that he is probably still watching this. And one thing that's been really cool about me teaching online is obviously my dad knew what I did when I traveled and taught all over North America, but he never had a chance to see me do it. So now he's actually been able to watch me in these lives, and he's just kind of like blown away. He's like, oh, that's what goes into all those cards you send me. Thank you guys.
I've got someone to catch up on some comments here. People are excited about, okay, let's see. Yeah, Rebecca's going to add those strips too, so that's great.
Awesome.
People saying how much they like the window scene, which I'm so glad. And someone says, Lawn Fawn is my main squeeze, and I love that.
Oh my gosh.
It could be a potential pun. We obviously need a lemonade set now.
That could be like a t-shirt.
It's so funny. There's a book I read to Miles, and there's a pun in it, which I don't understand how he would ever understand, but he always laughs at it. And I was like, hey, do you just have an inherent love of puns? Like,
I mean,
maybe. Like, I don't know. Maybe is it just in our genes?
Hey, it's in his blood.
I don't know. The queen of puns is Erica, though. My goodness, she just thinks in puns. People are excited about the mug. Someone says that they use the mug to hold their pens, which is awesome. And someone else drinks tea every night too. I'm not a good sleeper, as you guys can tell. I have a lot of energy, so it helps.
Aw, you guys are so sweet with all your messages for my dad. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's awesome. And our mugs, the next mugs are going to be different shape and a big size too. So that's
Ooh.
Someone was asking about cheaper shipping to Canada. It's tough because the shipping is so expensive. But Dee, please email us at info@lawnfawn.com and we can check on that because it seems really high on the shipping. So we can see if there's some kind of other option. So make sure to write us at info@lawnfawn.com.
And then also check the store locator on the website and see if there's a Canadian shop that will ship to you as well.
Yes, which would be a good idea. And then we have, even with all the delays, our LF orders always get there quick. Our team at lawnfawn, they are amazing. They blow me away every day. They're so fast. I'm so glad that you're getting your orders quickly.
So I've got a hot telegram off the press, Kelly. My dad just called Chris, and because he is not going to type all this on his iPad, but he says, thanks, I'm still listening. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Not sure how to comment.
Oh, that's so sweet. You're awesome, Jimbo.
All right, so I overlapped my XOXO a little bit on the banner, And now I'm going to take the cute little envelope with my glue tube, and I'm just going to kind of tuck this over so that it's kind of peeking out from the XOXO, just like that. So cute, little Valentine. And then we are going to add the skunks and the banner with foam squares. So I'm going to add one skunk first because I want to make sure that the banner fits between their little hands. I always say hands. I feel like our critters mean so much to us that they're more human-like. They've got hands. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Let's see. Yeah. And shirts, which hopefully are blue sweatshirts. We're going to hopefully have that coming out soon. Yeah, people are saying, unfortunately, the postage. I know it's so tough because they keep raising the postage to Canada, and it makes me crazy because we're neighbors, you know, and sometimes it's cheaper to ship to, or more expensive to ship to Canada than it is across the world. So we're sorry, but I wish we could control shipping prices.
I know, it's so crazy.
We're mentioning some beautiful stores in Canada. Our Canadian stores are incredible, and we love working with them. So that's awesome. And someone says they love the lawnfawn videos. I'm so glad you love them.
So what I did, you guys, is I put the little skunk on the left so that he looks like he's standing on that XOXO. That's one thing that I love to do with these giant greetings that lawnfawn's been coming out with this past year, is like kind of using them as a platform for our critters to stand on. And then I just used like half pieces of the foam squares, and I'm going to add the banner behind the skunk's hand, but then kind of get that banner in place. And then now I'll know where to put my second skunk. So I worked left to right just to make sure that there wasn't too much of a gap, that these guys weren't holding on to their banner. And then I'm going to add the little bow to the skunk on the right's head. So I do a little glue tube right on the head, and then place the bow down. And then we've got another little scent trail behind the skunk on the left. And I'm just using my glue tube for that, so it's going to be flat against the background. So you can kind of move and stick that wherever it looks cute. And for glitter on this one, we've already used that fairy dust, but I had to use a little bit more. Prisma glitter, I'm going to use the Quickie glue pen again. And I'm going to add a little bit of Quickie glue pen to the bow on the skunk's head. And use that scoop method to get the glitter up just where I want it. And then on the banner, the heart banner, on my original sample, remember I had white hearts, so that's what I had glittered. On this one, I have pink and red hearts, so I'm going to just do the pink hearts glittered. I'm going to alternate.
A lot of people are asking about your scissors, Jen.
Oh, yeah. So these are the Fiskars Spring Action scissors. They work for left and right-handed because there's no loops. And I have to tell you, I've been using this brand, this style of scissors since I got out of college. That was a long time ago. And I love them. They're great for fussy cutting. They're really easy on your hands because you're not trapped into loops. So highly, highly. They take a little bit of getting used to when you first get them, but then it's like second nature.
And let's see some other things. People saying how they love our daily emails. So if you sign up on our blog for the blog emails, you'll get an email every day with the blog post in it, which makes it really easy and kind of makes your email inbox a little happier every day. And they love looking at things from Samantha C and Samantha M and Maureen and Jen and Kara. And well, you get the idea. Yes, because oh my goodness, they make the most beautiful. Every day I get so excited to see what someone's made for the next post. It's so much fun. Someone said they made mistakes, but they like their mistakes. And I love that. There are no mistakes, right? Just opportunities for creativity.
That's right. No mistakes.
Oh, people love the videos from Shari. They like her goodbyes. Shari does have the sweetest voice. I love
Yeah,
it.
she does. So with my white gel pen, I am adding, I did 3 little dots on the rosy cheeks. And then I realized on my hugging skunks, I forgot to rosy their cheeks.
What?
I know. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to rectify that. And then what I did on their cheeks is I just did one little white gel pen dot. I am not the queen of details with white gel pens. I keep it pretty simple, but you do whatever you would like to do.
I love those white gel pen details, but I struggle with where to put them. So what I do is I go look at what the members of the lawnfawn design team have done, and I will just use those as inspiration. And then I start to kind of like learn where I want to put them myself, you know? So it's really a fun way to do that. Another thing I wanted to mention, Jen, is I love that you were talking about how you like to use these giant die cut words as a sort of a place for your critters to sit. And so I wanted to just say that that's actually how we design them. So a lot of times we'll even change them so that it becomes almost like a little shelf for critters. And so I'm so glad that you love to do that. It's just a fun way to use these. I mean, they're great on their own, but they're so fun as like a little critter shelf.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys, that's 2 Valentines. Look at what we did and all that we learned.
Oh my goodness.
If
I
you
know.
guys could see off camera, like basically the very immediate perimeter of what you're seeing. I'll put it on my Instagram stories after this, but it is a disaster.
That's how mine is too. Like I'm like, oh boy, I gotta tidy in here. I'm gonna see what other comments. People are saying how they're looking forward to your class on the 29th.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, and if you're curious about hearing anything more about my classes, head on over to my website. It's mylastname.com, so shirkus.com. I have it listed on the handout, so if you download the handout, you'll have my contact info. If you have any questions, please let me know. I highly encourage taking a class. You can substitute supplies. People do that in my classes all the time, and I love it. But we are using Scent with Love. So you already have, if you played along with us today, you already have almost all the supplies already. So I hope to see you because I've got a lot of fun things planned for this year. So,
oh my gosh, I know. Like, I mean, your classes are the best.
Thanks, Kelly.
I know you guys are going to have so much fun, and I can't wait to see all the shares of what you guys created. Jen made a really cool reel where she shared a bunch of photos of people that have been crafting virtually with her over this past year, and I thought it was so much fun. So you'll have to check that out on her Instagram. It's really cool to see everyone getting so crafty, you know?
It made me so happy pulling it together. I also realized that I taught a lot of pets last year. Lots of dogs and cats were very intently watching me. But I also have told people, and I'm going to be telling people all year, I love, love, love seeing what you make. I love seeing your creative space, whether you set up at the kitchen table or whatever it is. But this year I'm calling for more selfies. I got to see more faces. I miss seeing everybody in the in-person classes. And so, yeah, everybody who takes my classes, definitely take more selfies while you're taking them and share them in the groups and everything, because I miss seeing you guys.
Now, for some reason, it keeps cutting off comments for me, but I know somebody had asked if we had from my home to yours and not just from our home to yours. And I believe that we do have a set where you can switch out the our and the my, or from me to, I think it's from me to you, something like that. And maybe Rebecca can find that and link that. I think she may have done that already. But like I said, for some reason, Facebook's not letting me scroll back. And someone says their gel pens never work for them. Do you have any tips, Jen?
Say that question one more time. I'm sorry. I was reading at the same time.
Oh, sorry. They're white gel pens. Don't seem to have difficulty working with them.
So, yeah, white gel pens are a love-hate relationship. I have had the Uniball white gel pen for a long, long time, and that one I tended to have more problems with. I'm using a jelly roll now, and if it doesn't work right away, I do kind of just write it on my finger. That kind of warms up the tip and helps get any dry ink maybe off the tip so that the ink will flow. Um, I do keep my gel pen stored tip down in a cup that I have right off camera here, because I use it so much. So that might help as well. But the same thing that I kind of say with the Quickie glue pen too is you guys have to use it. You can't buy a new white gel pen and then not use it for a year because it just might not flow well in that pen mechanism. Things might dry. So so use all your things.
Yes. A lot of people are saying how much fun they've been having. Some people have been recovering. This has been something to look forward to, which I love that.
Yay.
And people are just having so much fun. Someone joked that maybe no selfies today, maybe a selfie a different day.
Yeah, a selfie any other time. You don't need to do it now. I'm just saying, in the class groups, we have private Facebook groups for all the classes that I teach, and we share lots of photos and stuff behind the scenes. And so I just want to see more faces.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Deanna was able to get the link to the right stamp set, so I'm so glad for that, because
awesome.
I know we tried to make sure that we were more inclusive in how our sentiments are written out. So I'm so glad for that. And someone's getting their crafty mojo back, which I love hearing that. Someone's saying the jelly rolls by Sakura are the only ones they have luck with. I'm the same way. I love those ones. The ones we carry in the lawnfawn store, those are my favorite. And also with the white gel pen line, some other people mentioned they struggle with them. I go to the lawnfawn team and I see what they've done, and that's what I do. I'm the same way. I struggle with them too. So I love that.
Yeah.
And people are being so sweet. They're just wonderful comments, I think, but people have been having a lot of fun with these classes, and we do too. Honestly, we Jen and I get so excited to be able to like be together.
I know.
We're spoiled because we get to do this today, and then we get to do it for our amazing stores on Monday. So
yeah.
And then Wednesday through Friday, Rebecca and I and Jacqueline from our team will be doing our virtual trade show, which is going to be, it's kind of like a super advanced Zoom in and out thing. It's really fun. So we're excited about that too. We have a little, a little fake booth made in our upstairs at the Lawn Fawn headquarters, which usually is a golf simulator, by the way, that Mike built, but we've turned it into a little trade show place. And I finally got my cards assembled here.
Oh my gosh, so cute,
I
Kelly.
love how the little glitter dots turned out since I forgot to my heart.
I love it. So cute.
Really,
so cute.
So fun. It's adorable. Oh my goodness. I'm definitely sending one of these to my grandma. I'm excited about that. She was supposed to be here. She was going to come see Miles from Florida, but we decided to postpone with everything happening with COVID. So we're postponing till March. So definitely send her a card.
Yeah, hopefully
someone's asking what Jen's Instagram is.
Shari and Rebecca linked it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's just my first
to be a little delayed, so I'm kind of catching up.
It's just my first and last name. So Jen with 2 N's and then Shurkus, Shurkus.
Oh my gosh, someone says they've been watching Lawn Fawn videos over 6 years. Thank you so much.
Wow.
People love your classes and they're hooked. I love that. Someone's asking what paper we stamp and color on. We like the Nina Classic Solar White. It's what Lawn Fawn's white cardstock is, and I like the 80 pound personally. But it's a cardstock you can also find at local paper warehouses. If you happen to have one, then you can buy the big reams of it as well, which is really cool. And people, oh my gosh, you guys are so sweet. You can always do your selfies later. We're excited to see them.
And remember, you guys, sorry, Kelly, just remember to use the hashtag if you're posting, especially over on Instagram, LF create with us. You just put the little pound sign, the little hashtag symbol, and you do it all one word. And then if you're over on Instagram, you can follow that hashtag. And I know I am following it, and we'll be able to see what everybody posts. So maybe if we don't all follow each other, we'll still be able to see your adorable cards and what you guys created.
Oh yeah, for sure. Someone was asking what you can color with in the coloring books. Crayons and colored pencils are the best for the coloring books. Miles already has started coloring with crayons in his, and so those are the best for the coloring books that we have. Someone's asking if there will be a little extra gift with purchase set again this year, this release, and there will be, and it is cute. I love it. You guys are so sweet. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for all your comments. Someone said lawnfawn was their first thing they ever purchased. I'm so glad that you're into stamping and crafting. And you guys have had so much fun today. It just makes my day. Somebody already posted to Instagram, which
yay, rock star, Marianne. And just remember, you guys, when it's the new release, we will release the information for the next Create With Us right away. The handout is available, so you can maybe, decide what sets you want to purchase first or which ones you might want to hold off on. And then all the prep information is there. So if you do want to prepare ahead of time and create along with us, you'll have plenty of time to do that. And we'll also announce the dates. And then at the same time, I usually announce what my next online lawn fawn class will be. So you can kind of get all the information at once.
Yes. And somebody was mentioning that they are a healthcare worker. This has been a good escape for them. And I just want to thank all the healthcare workers out there, because I know it's been a hard time for you guys. And so I'm glad that this can be a little bit of joy in your day, which I just love that. And people love all the clues that we have.
I wonder if somebody collected all the clues.
I know, right? They were. I was giving.
You gave a lot away this time.
Yeah, and
Mike's
gonna bring Miles to say bye. So
good.
They're gonna come over. So someone said they weren't able to craft along, but they enjoyed to listen, and I love that. You can always join us, like Jen said. You can join us. You can craft along with using different supplies. You can use the supplies we mentioned. And we just want to be together with you and create with you. So we just love you being here.
Yeah, we just want to hang out. Yay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Julie collected all the clues. I love it. Yay.
Oh, I love it. You guys are awesome.
Just remember, the replay for this will be available. The handouts will be available. So if you weren't able to create with us today, you can do it at any point, anytime. Yay.
Yes. And these the layouts are, I know. Oh my goodness.
Ooh, Libby, I want to see your nails. Send me a picture. She painted her nails while she watched us.
Do you want to come and say hi?
Ooh. Hi, Miles. Hi.
Oh, you want Dad, huh?
Oh. Everybody wanted to say goodbye to you, Miles.
Bye. Do you want to play with the glue tube? Okay. Yeah. Huh. Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys are awesome. Some people were just listening. And people were reading along. I love that.
Yay.
Someone's hoping for window scene stamp set. And there will be. Yeah.
Aww.
And I know Matt wanted to say hi. He loves playing with all the craftings, huh, kiddo?
Beth just mentioned I will be live next week. I'll be doing my Get Crackin' on Christmas. It's a fun series I do all year long, and I host a live every month. So definitely check that out. It's inspiring to work on your cards all year, so you're not stressed out come November.
So smart. Smart.
I try. Once in a while I'm organized.
Oh my gosh. And you guys are saying the sweetest comments. Say thank you, Miles. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. The glue tube went rolling, huh? But yeah, he's such a sweetheart. I know the other day I was looking through all the cards that you guys sent when he was born, and oh my gosh, I have them all saved for him so he can really appreciate them when he's older, although he thinks they're very cute now too, but he's not allowed to touch them. They are works of art.
Aww.
Will Miles be on the future design team? He might be. He's definitely already on the packing team. He rides in the bottom of the carts and helps line up all the stamps when they're packing orders and pulling orders.
That's so cute.
Aw, you guys are so sweet. What's going on? Huh? What's going on?
Bonnie says you have to move your head when you say get cracking. Yeah, it's always get cracking on Christmas.
Oh my gosh. Oh, someone's asking if we have a podcast. We don't have one, but that's really cool that Altamute does. I didn't know that. Now I want to listen.
Yeah, we'll have to go check it out.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, we are so grateful for you guys and so grateful that you are here today crafting with us and just having fun. It means the world to us that you guys join us on these fun events, and we're thrilled for the next Create With Us's. We're going to have a Saturday one and we're going to have a weeknight one because we know times are different for people. So we're really thrilled with that. Are you excited to do those? Are you going to create with us too?
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much. Kelly, do you have anything else you...
No, I just want to say how grateful we are for you guys and how much we appreciate you. And I cannot wait to follow that hashtag and see your cards and see all of the variations and creative things that you guys did. And I want to thank Jen for making another fun and adorable class. I have a blast because I get to create with Jen too. So it's really fun.
Yay. Well, it's been so much fun designing these classes. I enjoy it. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. We hope that you all stay safe and you have a more crafty time in your future. And we hope to see you guys soon.
Yes, for sure. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.